Hi everyone and welcome to the KickOff pod. This is in collaboration with Team Memento. Now this is our first episode and I have obviously, as you can see, a very special guest. There will probably also be a special guest shouting in the background, but you won't see her on screen. She's just a supporting actress at this point. But you can see we've got a very special guest. We are going to get into a lot of different topics, Carabao Cup Final, but obviously in maybe in the near future, we're going to start a series of pods where you will get to know people like our guest today and also others and just delve into the world of football. But for the purposes of today, we're going to get onto the pressing topic, which is the Carabao Cup Final between Newcastle and Liverpool. So who better to bring on than someone who knows the Premier League very well, who knows one of these teams specifically very well, if I can get my words out. So we today have Gael Bigirimana on the pod with us today. So welcome, Gael. How are you?
Thank you so much for the welcome and the intro. Doing well. Just here in Northern Ireland, part of in Dungannon, part of Northern Ireland, and yeah, me and my wife and 2 children are doing well, and I'm happy to be here and have this chat.
It leads us in perfectly to obviously the point of today's show and the topic that is obviously going to be burning over the next week or so till next weekend, which is the final. As you've alluded to, obviously you know better than many that about playing in the final. Yes, it's not the Carabao Cup, but it's a totally separate entity, and it's important to those clubs and to you as a player and to you as a team at the time. And it is still a major final. So what is it like for people like me, like your average person who will never, ever play in a cup final for a team, who we have dreams of doing it, we'll go and watch our teams, but we'll never play? What is that? It's kind of a stupid question, I guess, because we all know what it's like, but we imagine what it would be like. What is it actually like leading up to the final? Is it kind of when you've got league games as well? This is my question really, because this is kind of the narrative that's being spun at the moment with our players.
Yeah.
Is it just constantly on your mind? Do you have to take it game by game as a footballer and just focus on the next game at hand? Or is it always that thing that's lingering where sometimes it will affect your performance if you have got a big final coming up?
Yeah, I think I'm speaking from experience, and being a player, I know that subconsciously, when you've already got something that you know you don't want to miss out, whether it's a game, subconsciously you can tend to almost bypassing the games leading to that.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that, subconsciously a player can, without even realizing, they're reserving.
Like you're not actively going out to the game and saying, "Oh, I'm not going to put in a tackle today. I'm not going to get injured." But it is always just that kind of little subconscious thing.
That's just human nature, and especially as a footballer, you like it's a final, and
yes.
So subconsciously you're doing that, and there are players who will be able to handle that and being able to kind of like, okay, subconsciously I want to get there, but okay, I need to first deal with what's ahead in front of me first.
Okay, yes.
So it depends with players. Some players, they can't get it off their mind.
Yeah.
Some players can do that, and I think there's always a big lead up to the final, and which rightly so, the expectation and the excitement, and sometimes as a team or as a player, clubs, you can kind of trying to do something different, like to prepare for it. You can try to do. I experienced again the two finals that I experienced in Scotland Premiership, in both of the Scottish Cup and what is it called, the other cup? I think it's called the League Cup, I think, something like that. And it was for Motherwell, both against both was against Celtic.
Yeah,
I believe so. And Celtic won both of them. But you know, you do try to like, okay, how can we prepare? How can we give ourselves the best possibility of winning? Because it's details. It's details. Is fail to prepare, prepare to fail.
Yes.
So I see that. Yet sometimes it can kind of throw some players off it.
Okay.
But again, all that matters is once you step into the pitch. I remember the final, and like I said, it's a different final, but to me and Coventry have not been to.
Absolutely.
I've not won a cup for almost 40 years, I think it was, or something like that. And this was this was big.
Yeah, huge.
So, you know, we had 45,000 fans.
Wow.
Turning up, you know, and I remember saying to there was a keeper, a winger, two twins, and a center midfielder, including myself, 6 of us, and the defender was a captain, Jordan Willis. We were 6 that came through the Coventry Academy.
Okay.
And I remember the night before the final at the hotel, I gathered us together in the room, and I said, boys, we know where the club is.
Yeah.
Like this at this moment, and everybody can say the club is this, the club is that, and I said, and they might have their own rights to say that. Yeah. I said, but for us, if it wasn't for this club, we wouldn't be here where we are.
Yeah.
So no matter what's going on around us, each one of us, whoever gets opportunity to be on that field, we have to give 5 extra %. We have to give that extra 5%. But we know our other teammates who did not came from this club. It's a final. They're gonna do their best as well. They're gonna but we know as a way to say thank you to this club. Let us go beyond what we can do in effort, in just trying to change something.
Yeah, that's amazing.
And it was amazing because the 2 people who ended up scoring was me and Thomas and George Thomas from the academy.
Yeah, and that's special. That is very special.
And Lee Burgee, the keeper, Jordan Willis, another midfielder. His name is gone off my head, but we played amazing. One of the twins came on second half, a right back, and it was an unbelievable. And so I know for those. Obviously, I know this is like even a big scale, but I know the boys who are from Newcastle and those who have gone fund for the club. It doesn't matter who you're going to play against. I think if you're playing, as that saying goes, if you're playing for the badge and for the love, you will find yourself that you will turn into like a three man. You feel like you're playing with. So I hope the players, with the pressure and expectation, they'll be able to like recognize what that can do for the club.
Yeah, and it's so nice to actually hear that from a professional footballer, because I think a lot of the times, because as football fans, we're so like emotional and we're very like in the moment, and a lot of times when we watch the players and things, fans, not even just speaking on me, but obviously on just behalf of football fans in general, I think we sometimes forget that these players do feel emotion towards the club, and they do feel massive pressure, as you will have felt in your career. And sometimes it's easy to forget that because we're so focused on, you know, the club that we followed all of our lives, winning a trophy, and we forget that these players are real humans who have real feelings, who will be going at this final just as nervous as us, just as excited as us, and with that huge. We don't have the pressure on our shoulders because we're not going to represent the club on the pitch. So it's their job to do that. So the pressure that you guys will feel as footballers, I think we as football fans forget that so often because we're not in in that scenario. We just, we think it's so easy because you're so good at it, because you do what you do on the pitch, that it's just easy to forget that and just go and kind of do your job on the pitch. But it's not. You do have these emotions, and these players will be feeling, as you did when you played in the final for Coventry, that long period without a cup. They'll be feeling the pressure. They'll be wanting to be the first ones to get the cup in for the club, and the fan base that they feel like this affinity towards. So it's so nice to hear it and kind of validate that as well.
And like you said, and it doesn't matter, even me now at 31, you'd expect, with my experience, so to speak, you think you shouldn't feel any pressure now, especially if you're playing. Compare the level of where I am now to the level that I've been at with my national team at the African Cup finals and championship and all of these. And you think if you're going towards any game, whether it's on TV or not on TV, you should just be as cool as a cucumber, because that's what you do.
Yeah.
But there was a game recently which was on the BBC iPlayer here, shown on TV, and I woke up in the morning, and we've been doing really well, Dungano Football Club. We've been going beyond our expectation and people's expectation. And then this morning, we had a game in the night. I wake up and I just feel like just fearful. Most people know me, with my faith, I can't get scared. There's things that can make me fearful, but that is something that I'm my faith, and as I put my trust in God, it takes those away. It gives me peace.
Yeah.
But this thing was I'm thinking, what's going on? It's just, and I'm getting agitated. I'm feeling not myself. And then in the game, I just felt like I didn't know how to play football.
Yeah.
And that's how it felt. It felt like I was so nervous,
And people won't expect that, will they, of you? They'll probably just think that you're so used to these situations.
So players, as one of my friends, a good friend, so rightly said, when it comes to footballers, our office are public. Other people's offices are behind four walls. If they're having a bad day, only them and maybe the manager or whatever, or a few people in the building will know about it. Or sometimes even the people within that building might not know, because you're just in your own little office and things are not going right and you're making a mistake and you're like, oh, what have I done? But footballers, it's out there. You make a mistake, you having a bad day, is public. It's out.
Yeah. And you're constantly under scrutiny. You've got 50,000 fans knowing that you've had a bad day, telling you that you've had a bad day, and the countless media people telling you that you've had a bad day. It is true. It is true. And it is kind of, what's the word? It is refreshing to hear it from the other side of, the fence, because we're not in that situation. Yes, as fans, as football fans, we are emotional and we live the moments with you guys, but we don't see those pressurized situations where you're being scrutinized all the time, or you're under pressure to perform, and there's a massive game coming up, because a lot of football is a lot of people's lives. Like we said, it's ours, and we're in completely separate kind of entities of football. It's both of our lives, so it is so refreshing and interesting to hear it, and almost humbling from my point of view, because I do so easily forget that you guys, even though I'm in the industry in terms of content and things like that, I do just, it's so easy for me to get in the moment that you're just normal people, and that you do have these feelings, and you will feel every single emotion that we feel as fans. You'll feel it, even more, because you're the ones that are, expected to deliver that. So honestly, that's amazing. That's a really, really good point, and I wasn't really expecting it, but a lot of people will probably be really glad to hear that, actually.
As we're coming close to our time today, near the end of the show, as footballers get paid crazy money, and sometimes you can think, are they getting paid more than they actually work for? And it's not just about running and physical and running around and do all of those things, but it's more on the mental side that outweighs the physical.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because like you said, you got to deal with those emotions, the expectation, the not wanting to lose, and wanting to perform and wanting to do well, not wanting to let your teammates down, and for the club. And then in all of this, now you got to actually make this thing work. You got to make this decision, and you're having people opponents who are trying to stop you. So it's actually and that's why they say it's a skill, it's a talent to be able to do. You gotta make almost five decisions in 1 second.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you gotta make sure it works.
Yeah.
And the best are the best. They do it often and often, and then outside of the game, then you're limited almost basically to what you can do, in a sense, to be just free.
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously as well, we're sitting here, I sit on my sofa, and as I've said, I've never played a football game in my life, and I'm sitting here saying, oh, why didn't he pass to that person, or why didn't he shoot there? But as you said, you've got to make 5 decisions in literally half a second, and you've got to hope that it's the right one. And we just forget this so often when we're watching football. It's honestly, it is so refreshing to hear it, and as I said, very, very humbling to hear it from your point of view as a professional footballer. So yeah, as we get into that, and obviously pressurized, we are coming up to the final. It is massive for both clubs, I guess, but obviously more so for Newcastle. So what have you made of us this season so far, from what you've seen, from what you've watched? What do you think that we can win it? I know you're not going to want to say no, because I'll just end this podcast right here. And I know you're not going to want to say no, but what have you made of the season so far? And do you actually think that we genuinely can win the Carabao Cup?
Yeah, no, I think until now, maybe like you said, the last few results maybe have not been the best with injuries and stuff, but I think it's been a positive season, and there's games when the team has been up for it and everything is clicking. It's it's hard to play against Newcastle, and they have power, they have speed, they have technique, they've got players with ability. In every aspect of what you need in a team, they have it. They've got energy. They've got players who can win you games. And I think having then the fans, you guys, and the support and the love that you have for the club, and I think going to the final. Though yes, Liverpool, as we don't need to go into details in how humongous a club that it is, and how they're crazy fans as well, but they are not Anfield, so it's it's different, and it's fine. It's one game, and I think it doesn't matter who starts. I think with the crowd there, of the support that Newcastle would bring, that would be, I believe, a huge thing. And if they play, whatever team it is, if they play to the level that they can play, Like I would, and I know Liverpool are having like an incredible season.
Yeah.
Yet at the same time, like Newcastle can set up in a way to hurt them.
Okay.
And they've got that. So yeah, I do believe. No, I believe like a cup final is a cup final.
Is the cup final like, like obviously as you said, is it like literally as you said, is it that specific game? Like it can be so different to how the rest of your season's gone.
Yeah, they normally say when it comes to. I've had people say it time and time again, and it's true. When semi-final, quarter-final, final is form goes out of the window.
Yeah, it's just like about that occasion.
Yeah, because that's why you always see like results that happens and you're thinking, I didn't see that coming.
Yeah.
Like upsets happen, big clubs get knocked out. Because it's just there's this. We just go into the semi-final as well of the Irish Cup, so it's probably almost like the equivalent of the FA here.
Yeah.
So, and I just realized when you get into the quarter-final, you have got basically you've been given an opportunity to play 3 finals. So you got the quarter, the final, the first one, then you've got the second one, and obviously the third one is the one that you get rewarded with a trophy. But the same way they played against Arsenal, with that mentality and the belief, nothing. It's just if, and I know it's like they won't take my advice, but what's the difference? It's almost they get another repeat.
Absolutely. No, that is such a good way to put it. And I know you're saying, oh, don't take your advice, but you're the best person to give the advice. You've been there, you know what it's like.
But at the end of this final, you just get a trophy at the end of it if you win.
Yes. It's a great way to look at it. Honestly, I genuinely do think Eddie Howe would look at it that way as well. 100%. That's so interesting.
Because Arsenal, whether people might say, oh, whatever, but listen, semi-final, final, doesn't matter. Like, it's who on that day shows up.
Yeah, wants it.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Go on the tune.
Honestly, I'm so nervous. I really am nervous, but this time I promised myself that I wasn't going to go into it with fear like I did the last time. Because obviously I wasn't, as a fan, I wasn't expecting us to get to a final 2 years ago, and I didn't really know how to handle myself. I'd never seen us in a final, so it was just like I was so nervous I couldn't even eat on the day of the final. I was honestly genuinely so nervous. So how they must have felt, I don't know, but I was so nervous. But I've said to myself, as a fan, I'm just going to go and enjoy the weekend. I'm not going to let the outside noise of Liverpool, being so good this season, our injuries, and go into it with fear, because I just want to enjoy it. And I want us as fans, I want us to show as our best selves as well, and be the support that the team need in that moment. So yeah, it's amazing.
I think that's the best, and that's probably the right way to approach it as a fan. Again, from my experience, Coventry, we were the underdog. Nobody expected us to beat. Nobody, but they just. It was an occasion that they were like, yeah, this is amazing for the club. Let's just go and support the boys. Let's just go and enjoy the occasion. And we already, I know it's kind of like, it's that saying that people say, like, for me to say, the fans should see the club like as successful to get to the final.
Yeah, like you've already progressed in a way.
Yeah, and of course you want to win, and the boys in that changing room, they will. I'm telling you, because it'll be history. They would want to make history. So, history are there to be added on to. So hopefully they'll add another history for the club.
Yeah, I really do hope so. Yeah, so thank you so much, Gail. It's been, honestly, the insight that you've given today is going to be amazing. I know so many, not even just Newcastle fans, but football fans will just be so interested and moved by this podcast. So and as we've said, obviously throughout the show, there is going to be more in this podcast series. We'll hear more about Gail's career in detail and his times at the different clubs. And yeah, but thank you so much, Gail. Good luck for the rest of the season in terms of your career as well. And yeah, hopefully we win the final and you can see us do that as well. But thank you again, and it's been an absolute pleasure.